Welcome to part one of your hands-on Salesforce training. We'll begin by identifying a handful of main reasons leveraging Salesforce is beneficial to you and the company. After logging in, we'll cover the components of your homepage and reinforce what you've learned with activity number one, in which you'll access and edit your user profile. With that under our belts, we'll focus on accounts, the backbone of Salesforce. We'll look at the Accounts tab and see the type of information captured on an account record. We'll finish our discussion with activity number two, creating an account, which serves as the first step in proper customer relationship management. We'll build off that by running through a scenario in which you meet the key decision maker in that account and have to establish this relationship and document the sales opportunity and all related activities. To help you put everything together, we'll go over the best ways to view and manage your activity and opportunity information. Finally, we'll take a look at Chatter, a collaborative tool that allows users and customers to post comments, ask questions, share best practices, all in a secure, private environment. Any questions from the training should be sent to tmurphy@hightorque.com or posted on the Salesforce training chatter group. Here are a few of the main reasons to leverage Salesforce. First, you can manage your sales pipeline and all the sales cycle milestones. This means you can track all your open opportunities, define their next steps, attach the surveys, proposals, and other documents related to these opportunities. You could associate activities like tasks, meetings, emails, phone calls to your accounts and contacts. This will give you a much clearer picture of your relationships. You can collaborate with colleagues via Chatter. You can post comments, ask questions, share best practices, and attach documents. This is all in a secure, private Chatter group. You can access Salesforce anywhere, anytime. And if it's not in Salesforce, it doesn't exist. So we now have a single source of truth. Throughout this training and in using Salesforce, you'll be introduced to many different terms. Here are the main ones. An opportunity is a potential revenue generating event. A lead is someone who expresses interest in our products, but it's someone that we don't have a relationship with. An account is any company or organization, whether it be a prospect, customer, vendor, or partner. And a contact is someone who's within that account. Tasks and events could be emails, phone calls, proposals, any sort of desk work. And reports and dashboards are what help us make sense of all the information that we're tracking. Let's take a look at what you'll see after logging in. At the very top of your page, on the left, is the search bar, which is the best way for you to locate existing records like your accounts or opportunities. At the top right of your page, you'll see your name, a link to help and training information, and the app menu. By clicking your name, you can access your profile, access the setup page to set up personal options like email signature, or even download plugins like Salesforce for Outlook. This is also where you can log out. In the app menu, you'll see the various apps you have access to. Apps control the tabs you see. For example, if you select the sales application, you'll see tabs relevant to sales, like leads, contacts, and opportunities. We'll take a closer look at specific tabs in a few minutes. On the left-hand side is your left nav, easily the most useful section of Salesforce. The left nav contains direct links to your most important reports and dashboards, a drop-down to create new records, direct links to the 10 most recent items you viewed, and access to your recycle bin. Moving towards the center of your homepage, at the very top you'll see your chatter feed, showing you updates to items that matter most to you. From here you can share best practices, files, competitor info, links, or post a poll to get feedback from your colleagues. If you don't want to see the chatter feed, you can click the Hide Feed button. This will make the dashboard become the main focus of your homepage. Dashboards show data from source reports as visual components, which can be charts, gauges, tables, or metrics. To change the dashboard being displayed, click the Customize Page link and select a dashboard from the drop-down list. After clicking Save, your new dashboard will appear. Below the dashboard is where you'll see tasks and events. When you log in, you can scroll down to this part of the page and immediately know what's on your plate for the day. With the Salesforce for Outlook application installed, tasks and events created in Outlook will be synced with Salesforce. Please pause this video training and complete activity number one in your activity handbook. Now let's take a closer look at the Accounts tab. Similar to any other object tab, you have a drop-down of list views at the top, and the records you recently viewed are displayed below. So let's say you just spoke to a prospect and you want to be able to document the relationship moving forward. The first thing you have to do is create the actual account so that you could eventually associate the contacts and the opportunities you'll create that are related to that account. But before I click the new button, I need to make sure the account doesn't already exist in our database. We want to avoid creating duplicates. So I could search for the account using the search bar. The account I'm working with is Fenway Park Powerhouse. So I'm going to search for that. I don't see any results, so I'm going to employ a less is more approach. Less words, more results. Click search again. And I still don't have any results, so I'm confident that the account doesn't exist in our database and can move forward by clicking the new button to create the new account. The record type that I want to select is standard account. I'm not creating a vendor account. I'll start creating my new account by providing the account name. And if this account fell under a larger account, I could establish a parent-child hierarchy by putting in a parent account name in the parent account field. In this case, though, I don't have that information. I'll eventually drop down to the additional information section and provide the website and description. The more information I can provide on this record, the more valuable it becomes. After filling in the billing address information in the address info section, I can click the copy billing address to shipping address link and populate those fields. But when I'm done creating the account, I'm going to click save. Now that we've created our account, we're back on the account detail page. And from here we can see everything that's related to our account. And we can see them through what we call related list hover links. Some of the related lists that we have here are open activities, activity history, which would be completed activities, contacts, opportunities, notes and attachments, and our calibration certificates. This is where we can, at a glance, understand what's related to our account. Please pause the video now and complete Activity 2 in your Activity Handbook. With our account created, it's time to begin associating records to our account, starting with a contact. We don't have to bounce over to the Contacts tab. We know it's there. We know it looks exactly like the Accounts tab, only with contact records. So from the account, I'll hover over the Contacts Related List hover link and click New to begin creating my account. The type of contact I want to create is a contact. The name of the person I'm working with at Fenway Park Powerhouse is Mark Benioff. So I'm going to start by entering his name and his title, which is President. I'm going to bounce down, provide his email, and any other information I can provide. Again, the more fields I fill out, the more valuable this record becomes. And notice how the phone and mailing address information is already populated. That's one of the benefits of creating a record through the account. It inherits that information. Similar to what we did with the account, we can copy the mailing address information over to the other address by clicking the Copy Mailing Address to Other Address link. Next, I'm going to select my lead source, which was Trade Show, and specify this was through PowerGen. When I'm done, I'll click Save. Please pause this video now and complete activity number 3 in your Activity Handbook. With our contact created, we can see that it has the same structure as when we created the account. We have our related list hover links at the top, and we have our details right below them. By hovering over the open activities, activity history, opportunities, cases RMAs, and so on, we can see what information exists within those related lists. The number in parentheses indicates how many records of that type exist, and we can see that everyone has zeros. So we're going to change that. The next thing that we want to associate to this contact is an opportunity. Because when we were working with Mark, he mentioned that he was interested in purchasing 2 J guns. So the first thing we need to do is hover over the opportunities related list and click New. After clicking New, we have to select the record type. And these are sales team specific. I'm part of the high torque sales team, so I'm going to select the Jet-eyed high torque optimization opportunity and click continue. I can begin entering in my opportunity starting with the opportunity name, and we follow a specific naming convention, which can be seen if you hover over the help text icon. The naming convention begins with a two-letter state abbreviation, and in this case it's going to be MA for Massachusetts. It's followed by the account name, Fenway Park Powerhouse, then the application or the application solution, and this is going to be 2 J-guns, and then the time period in which I expect this opportunity to close. And I'm expecting this to close at the end of 2012, so I'm going to put Q4 2012. The next field is specific to the Jet-eyed sales team, and since I'm a high torque rep, I'm going to skip over it. Dropping down to the additional information section, I'm going to select my close date, which is going to be December 31st, 2012. The stage, since I'm pretty much in the beginning of this opportunity, I'm going to put conducted customer research. And I'll notice that the probability populates automatically. Next, I'm going to specify my amount, which is going to be $12,000. And then I'm going to document the next step. This is an important detail. Next, I'm going to drop down to the sales notes section and begin filling in the fields that I can populate. Now, in the beginning phases of your opportunity, chances are you won't have information to populate into these fields. But I do at least know the products that I'm selling. So I'll populate the information in that field. The rest of the fields I'm going to have to leave blank for now, but I understand that I need to come back as the opportunity progresses to provide these details. The same thing can be said for the sales cycle milestone fields. These are checkboxes that allow me to check off things that I have accomplished as I progress towards closing business. If I check a box on the left-hand side, like presentation completed, I need to make sure I document the date of completion, which can be done in the date field on the right-hand side. If you try to save a record with a checkbox checked and a date field left empty, you won't be able to save the record. So I don't have any installation details to provide, so I'm going to drop down to the marketing information section. The first field, lead source, is already populated with trade show because we're creating this opportunity through Mark, who we met through the trade show. The last field to populate is a primary campaign source. So this field is associated with a campaigns object, which is something we'll get into down the road. But by selecting a value using the lookup icon on the right-hand side of the field, I can associate this opportunity to a campaign that we've run. So I'm going to search the database for anything related to PowerGen and click on PowerGen 2011 Literature Request, a campaign run by marketing. What this will do is take the $12,000 opportunity and add it to that campaign's ROI data. Please pause this video training and complete activity number 4 in your activity handbook. When we created the opportunity, we specified that our next step was to provide a presentation. So we need to document this, just like we need to document anything that we do with our accounts and our contacts. So to do so, go to the Open Activities Related List hover link and click New Event. The record type will be Sales Meeting. This record type contains fields relevant to a sales meeting. And click Continue. Very similar to an event in Outlook, we're going to provide a subject, specify our location, choose our start and our end date, and time as well. This is one thing that separates an event from a task. Events have start and end dates. The good thing about events too is that you don't have to go back and update the status. Once the time approaches and passes, this event will be completed automatically. Once we have the time selected, we can see that it's already assigned to me because I'm creating this event. And it's related to my opportunity because I'm creating this through the opportunity. Next, I want to make sure that we identify the contact associated with this event. It's going to be Mark Benioff, so I'm going to use the search bar to find him. Now there's 2 names. I know that he's part of the Fenway Park Powerhouse account, so I'm going to select him on the left-hand side, bring him over to the right-hand side, and make him the primary contact. This is just to make sure that if I do add other contacts, that I know that Mark is my go-to guy. And I'm going to click Done. Next, use the comment synopsis field to provide a brief summary of what you expect this meeting to be about. Then drop down to the description field. And while you might not have information right now to put into this field, you do need to understand the structure in which you need to provide the information. You can do so by hovering over the help text icon next to the description field. Here you'll see that we need to provide our meeting premise and plan, followed by our call summary or meeting summary, then the action items and additional notes. Once you provide all this information, you could drop down to the attendees section and specify the attendees for this meeting. Finally, towards the bottom of the page, we could select whether or not this is a recurring meeting, which it is not, and have a reminder set for us. I'm going to put mine 2 days in advance since I'll be traveling. When I'm done, I'll click Save to save my sales meeting event. Since we created the event through the opportunity, the first thing I notice is in the related list hover link for open activities, I now see a 1 in parentheses. If I were to hover over the open activities related list, I would see the details and see that the sales meeting is in there. Please pause this video training and complete activity number 5 in your activity handbook. Now let's see how this all comes together in reports and dashboards. You can see reports from the Reports tab, dashboards from the Dashboards tab, and both reports and dashboards from the home page. One of the most important reports will be your monthly activity report, so I'm going to click that from the home page. And here I can see the completed activities from this month, and these are my completed activities. Of course, the month just began, so there aren't too many activities completed. Going back to the Home tab, a great way to see your sales information is through My Sales Dashboard. By clicking on it, you'll see the dashboard displaying information related only to you. On the top left, you'll see the activities to be completed this week, the ones you've completed this week. Below that, you have your current quarter pipeline, your fiscal year pipeline, and then your current quarter and fiscal year 1 business. Towards the center of your page is where you'll see more details about your current quarter pipeline. The top component shows your top 5 opportunities, and below that, you'll see your pipeline by win probability. Over on the right-hand side, you have your fiscal year pipeline information, your top 5 opportunities for the fiscal year, and then your pipeline by win probability for the fiscal year. Another important dashboard will be the Executive Management Sales Dashboard. This is where they'll be able to see your pipeline and performance. On the left-hand side, you have your login wall of fame. This shows those who have logged in the most over the last 14 days. Below that is a list you want to stay off of, the login wall of shame. You'll get on this list if you don't log in within 14 days. On the left-hand side, you have the username. On the right-hand side, you have the number of times that they've logged in ever. So if you're on this list and you have a low number on the right-hand column, that's a bad thing. If you have a high number, it at least shows that you have logged in at some point in time. And please don't put much stock in this today. Considering this is day 1 of our sales rollout, this list here in the login wall of shame is more indicative of who does or does not use Concurforce or our job science recruiting application. The middle column of this dashboard gives executive management understanding of our current quarter pipeline by rep, as well as our fiscal year and next fiscal year pipeline by rep. On the right-hand side is our current quarter forecast and our fiscal year forecast. Forecast values are based on our pipeline. An important thing to know about dashboards is that they aren't refreshed when you open the page. They need to be refreshed using the refresh button. The information to the right of the refresh button will let you know the last time this information was updated. Please pause this training video and complete activity number 6 in your activity handbook. The last thing we'll talk about today is Chatter, which is a collaborative tool allowing users, like our colleagues, or customers to post comments, ask questions, share best practices, and attach documents. And this is all in a secure, private environment. To access Chatter, go to the Chatter tab. From there, you'll see a text box where you can make your post. I'm going to post that I'm creating a training video for part 1 of our Salesforce training. When I'm done, I get to decide if I want to share it with everyone or with a specific group. The reason it said my followers there is that if I make a post, it'll go directly into the feed of my followers. But it also means that everybody could see it. It's just that those who aren't following me would have to go to my chatter record. For everyone else who is following me, it would be pushed directly to them. But here I'm going to decide to share it with our Salesforce training group. That means that anybody that's part of the group will go directly into their feed. And at night, they'll receive a chatter digest containing the feed that I just posted. You could also post files, share links, or even post a poll to get your colleagues' feedback. Your last activity for the day is to make a chatter post and post that you've completed part 1 of the hands-on Salesforce training. Thank you for your time. Any questions could be sent to tmurphy@hightorque.com.